We'll say business is going to start, in fact, in Ireland, where more pain could be on the way there for taxpayers.
Yeah, the country is set to unveil its second austerity budget since, of course, that EU and IMF bailout back in 2010. Now, as opposed to Greece, Ireland has been held up by some as an example of how things should go with the austerity medicine. But that doesn't mean things have been easy or popular, as France 24's correspondent Hervé Amérique explains.
No way! We won't pay! No way!
Protests like this have become a regular sight. According to the last opinion poll, a clear majority fear they will be unable to meet their financial commitments after the government takes €3.5 billion out of the economy in the new budget.
That's going to be made up about 2/3 of cuts, 1/3 of taxes, and people are saying that that is too difficult. They're saying that the wealthy should be paying more, but the government is reluctant to increase taxes anymore because they don't want to disincentivise work.
In the firing line, pensioners and workers on low to middle incomes. Their social contributions are on the way up, while there are severe cuts in health and welfare. Child benefit for this family is being reduced. And for the first time here, there will be a house tax.
This property tax is looking to be €300–500 in people's annual household bill that people just don't have. That is not fair for Europe and Irish government to impose those austerity measures on us. So we're here today to say a no to the IMF, no to the ECB, no to the Troika, no to the Irish government.
The government says its strategy is the only way to save the economy.
Over the past 18 months or so, we have transformed ourselves from a country that was in free fall to one that is now getting back on its feet again. And that is in large part due to the fact that we have been able to attract inward investment.
The overall economic environment is nowhere near as difficult as it was for some of the previous budgets. And I think householders will begin to feel that now. We'll begin to see some further employment opportunities. We'll begin to see some modest pay growth, for example.
But since the austerity plan was set in motion, unemployment has gone up to 15%. It is now a major issue.
Well, that's Ireland. Similar story of austerity in the UK, as I drop my pen as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Stuart.
I'll just go and get it.
The Finance Minister, George Osborne, is making his autumn statement. That's sort of a mini budget. It's not expected to be much fun for him. He, of course, is going to be, victim to his own creation, the Office of Budgetary Responsibility, which he set up. It is a forecasting body which is expected to say the government's going to miss its key targets for cutting down debt, and it's also set to revise growth down this year to around 0%. So this means that austerity measures in the country will probably have to be extended until 2018 if the government plans to stick to its commitments. The opposition, of course, lapping this up and loving every minute of it.
OK, you'll be glad to know I've got it back. Don't worry, it just fell on the floor. I've got it back. My pen's all right. Next to the US, a deal's been reached to keep goods flowing into the US.
Yeah, this is after an 8-day strike. We were talking about it yesterday. It's lost billions for the US economy. It's at the United States' largest port in Los Angeles. And now workers and management in LA have apparently reached a tentative agreement. Terms haven't been disclosed, but apparently it addresses workers' concerns over the possibility of outsourcing.
OK, let's have a look at the markets then.
Well, in Asia, let's take a look. It's been actually rather a positive session after disappointing results over in the US over the last couple of sessions. But in Asia, things have really bounced back, particularly in Shanghai. The Shanghai Composite there, you can see up almost 3% there. It comes as China's new Politburo officially met for the first time on Tuesday. Perhaps some relief there at the smoothness of the political transition. But also the Shanghai markets were at a 4-year low, so I suppose the only way was up. Let's take a look at how things are opening in the EU as well. And as you can see there, across the board, following the lead of the Asian markets so far today.
Well, one stock likely to see heavy trading in London today is the world's third largest grocer, Tesco. What have they been saying?
Well, they've announced a strategic review of their US arm called Fresh and Easy. This was Tesco's attempt to break the US market, to really compete with Walmart on its home territory. And it hasn't gone very well, it seems. This strategic review is keeping all options on the table, including, presumably, selling it off. It's a retreat after 5 years of throwing money at this operation. Apparently, around an estimated £1 billion has been invested in this, and they might not be seeing that back. Hasn't been a hit with consumers, obviously. They've got around 200 stores in California and Nevada, and they were hoping for thousands more across the United States, but looks like that's not going to work out.
OK, well, one of the worst performers on the French markets yesterday was EDF, closing down by 2.3%. The electricity giant says the cost of building a long-delayed nuclear reactor in the west of France will be billions higher than previously thought. And now a key partner has pulled out of what was meant to be a showcase project.
It was meant to be a symbol of French high-tech innovation, but the new generation EPR nuclear plant on France's northern coast is over budget and behind schedule. The opening of the facility in Flamanville had already been delayed until 2016, but constructor EDF has had to revise up the estimated cost of the project several times now to the most recent figure of 8.5 billion euros. All too much for one of the project's investors, Italian utility company Enel, which pulled out on Tuesday. The group is now due to be paid back some 700 million euros of the money it's already put into the project, costs which fall back on state-owned EDF.
It's the French that will pay the bill for this chaos. How? The state, EDF's shareholder, will have to pay. It will be the customers who will pay in their electricity bills.
EPR nuclear plants are meant to be safer and provide better value for money than older power stations, but the estimated cost of electricity from the Flamanville plant has spiralled to 105 euros per megawatt. Greenpeace claims that's twice the cost of nuclear power currently, but EDF says the price will be competitive.
In the average cost of French nuclear energy, it remains by far the cheapest way of producing electricity.
The French government remains committed to Flamanville, just one of 4 EPR plants being built around the world. Analysts say the increased costs and delays seen in France may put other plant stations in jeopardy.
Now, finally from Will, I love this story. You're going to enjoy it too, I'm sure. How has one of the dumbest criminals, basically, of all time, failed to get away with a bank robbery? Tell us what this is about.
Well, this is the incredible story of Hannah Sabata, a 19-year-old from Waco, Nebraska. And she says she stole $6,000 from a bank in a bank robbery. And as you can see here, well, this video, she put it up on YouTube herself. Boasting of her ill-gotten gains. The text underneath the video says, "I just stole a car and robbed a bank. Now I'm rich. I can pay off my college financial aid, and tomorrow I'm going on a shopping spree."
She might as well have filmed the whole event and put that up on YouTube as well.
Well, according to law enforcement, who obviously rather quickly caught up with her, she was even wearing the same clothes in this video she wore for the actual bank heist itself. So she didn't get very far after that.
And it's not a wig, that, presumably. That's her natural hair.
Well, maybe it was part of her disguise.
You never know.
A very cunning criminal, obviously.
God, they're getting tough to catch nowadays, criminals, aren't they? Will, thanks very much. Will Edwards with the business here on France 24. The latest news headlines. We'll be with you after the break, so all